Welcome to part 2 of this BookWright series, How to Create Your Challenge B Short Stories book in Blurb, or for anyone wanting to create a trade book in Blurb, you can follow along here. And today we are going to be jumping into how to create your layout, and that is what types of words and pictures you want on your page. Before you can just start plugging words and pictures in, you have to create the spaces where they belong. So this is kind of graphically designing your words and pictures and where they're going to go. And then we're going to start plugging in some of our RTF documents and some of our pictures to show how you apply those to the layout that we create. And if we haven't met before, hi, I'm Erica Lynn. I'm a homeschooling mom of 4, and I want to be your homeschooling bestie. It is my goal to make homeschooling easy for everyday moms and dads. If you have not seen part 1 of how to install BookWright and how to download and prepare your documents for uploading into BookWright, you need to go back to my part 1 of the series, which is going to be linked right here. And you need to follow those steps first. Then you will be ready to create your layout and begin working on your interior pages. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to start adding all of our files to use in this program. So I'm going to start by adding RTF files. I'm just going to click on this file link here. I'm going to go to my short stories. I'm going to select everything in this file because everything here that they're pulling out is an RTF file. And I am going to open all of these. And BookWright is now going to import all of these files, which is going to take just a minute to get completed. Okay, it is finally uploaded, and that literally took so long. I stopped the video, I got a cup of coffee, I took a walk. So be prepared to start this and leave it. Now we're going to do the exact same thing, come to the top, and instead of being on the text files tab, we're going to click on the photos tab. And now we're going to add our photos, and thankfully they are all in this one file here. And they're labeled. And so I'm just going to select one and then shift and select the last one. And then we are going to open all of these same way. Wow, those imported really fast. Okay, so now up at the top files here, we have our layouts, which we're going to create one for our book. We have all of our photos that we need, and we have our text files that we need. So now we should be ready to just jump in and work really hard. The final thing we're going to prep is we're going to create a couple of short story layouts that you're going to use over and over. I model my short story layout after the short stories book that we use in class. So we're going to have an author picture, we're going to have an author bio, and then we're going to have the story starting down below. So I need a couple of different layout pages. Here's an example of a short stories book I put together last year. So on the first inside page, I just have a little note, like a little title page. And then I have a note to my class. And then I have the table of contents. All of that I'm going to kind of create at the end. So I am actually going to leave pages 1 through 3 blank. And then I'm going to start on page 5. And I need to create the cover page, which is going to have title, artwork, and author name. So I'm going to create that first, and then I'm going to go into my author page, and then these are my story pages. For the title page, I am going to start with some text boxes that are already the same size. I'm going to use this one. I'm going to place it over here because it's got the text where I can add the author's name. It's got the image here. All I need to do now is add another text box up above, and I'm going to try to align this as best as possible. There we go. See, my blue line says I've got it at the same size there, and I want to get a blue line here. There we go, on the left. So it's aligned here. I just want to make sure that it's aligned on the right side so that every single one of these is correct. I'm going to bring it in. There we go. Okay, so all the blue lines show that those are aligned. So now I have a text box at the top and a text box at the bottom. This is going to be my title page. So now I'm going to click up here, Save Layout. This is a right page layout because I like to have either the story will finish up here or I will leave it blank, and I always start the title page on the right side. And I'm going to label this title page and save that. Okay, now I'm actually not going to do a title page on page 3. We'll actually start on page 5. So I'm going to come down here, and right here I can click My Layouts. Okay, so I'm going to drag this title page down to the right side. So we have our title page applied here. Then on the next page, we want to have our author bio page. And so I'm going to work on that spread. So I'm going to go to layout. This would be photo and text. I'm just going to scan through here and see if there's anything close to what I want that I could edit. Okay. I'm just going to select this one, start working on it. This is going to be my title. I'm going to delete this text box. This will be my author bio. I'm going to shrink this photo size so that it's going to mirror the size of the text box. Let's see. I can't see this edge over here. Let me slide this over. Here we go. I want it to match. There we go. On the upper two corners. Now I'm going to drag this out just to where I feel like is appropriate. I'm going to drag this down till it matches on the bottom. Okay, so all my blue lines show that they match. Now I am going to add a new text box down here. And let's see, add place text. So I'm going to start right underneath it and try to get the edges the same. I don't know how close to the bottom I can get. All right, see if we can get this right edge to line up at the same side. There we go. And this left edge to line up with the blue line. There we go. And then I am not 100% sure how far down is the printable area, but I'll match it to the other side. What I want to add over here is another full page of text. So I'm going to go up here to just text, and I want to grab something that just has 2 lines, here we go, across the top. This should be a full page of text. Perfect, right there. You notice the lines at the top look like they match across. Now I want to get these 2 text boxes to match across the bottom so that, there we go, there's my blue line. Now all of my text will come to the same place at the bottom of every page. Perfect. Okay, so this is going to be my author bio spread. So I'm going to save this layout. Now, that's right up here, I need to save a double spread. So I'm going to go back to the one we just used, which was under the text one. And this is the one we used. It's still highlighted orange. So I'm going to drag it here, and I'm going to drag it here. I want it on both pages because that way it's faster for me to apply the layout. And I'm going to save this. I want this to save it as a double spread, so it applies to 2 pages at once. And these are story pages. Okay, so I've got my story pages, I've got my author pages, I've got my title page. All right, so what you need to know here is BookWright won't save different fonts and sizes between the different layouts. So everything right now is Laura font size 12 double spaced, which is how I want it for my actual story pages, which is the bulk of the book. So that's how I'm going to leave it saved. Once I apply the words, like the actual document, to the text box, I can then go in and customize just those text boxes. And that's what I will do on my title page and the author bio section. And I will adjust each of those, but I have to remember to do it as I go along. I've got a couple other layouts saved here. The other thing I've got here is the full cover photo. This is for if a student gives me a cover picture that already has the title and their author name in it, and they have created the entire page, I can just have it fill right here. And you get this by going to Layout, One Photo, and it's right here. So I'd click on this, and then I would save this as a cover page. That'll save it to my layouts. For example, this student did a hand drawing with her name and title already on there. So I just scanned that and applied it as a full page photo. Okay, that is all of the layouts that I need. So now I am ready to begin dragging and dropping items to my story. So on the left side over here, you see you have all of your pages with your layouts. Page 1, 2, and 3 are going to be like title pages for me. So I will apply different formats to them. I'm actually going to be starting my story on page 5. And then when we get to page 6 and 7, I'll actually be applying the text. Okay, so I'm going to start on page 5, and I'm going to go back to my photos, and I am going to pick a photo. This is Benjamin's cover photo. We will start with Benjamin's cover photo right there. See this triangle? That means there's a problem. Low image resolution. What I'm going to say is fix it and submit. What it does is it automatically shrinks the picture to the size that it's going to print at a high quality. And so that is fine with me. I'm going to leave that right there. Now, if the picture shrunk too much, which is a common problem, I would go back to the parent and ask them if they wanted to replace it with another picture. At the top, I'm going to put Benjamin's title. Actually, I won't put the title yet because I don't have it memorized. Then this is going to be his name. And I like to use Quicksand for my font. I want it to be centered and centered up and down. We're going to go with size 40 because I want it to be larger. Okay. So spelled that wrong. There we go. Benjamin wrote. All right. Now I'm going to go to the next page. I'm going to apply the author bio by dragging it from my layouts. Then I'm going to click on photos and let's get Benjamin's author photo, which he did not email to me. So I will need to collect that later. And then I'm going to go to text files and I need his bio. So I'm just going to drag this right here. Now I'm going to click on it because I need to change this. This is going to be Laura, size 12. This is going to be single space for the author bio. And it is left adjusted. And I'm going to update the text flow. Okay, that looks good. And it all fits inside the box. Then I'm going to down below add his short story. So I'm going to drag this down here. I need this to be Laura, size 12. This one, I am going to have it be 2 lines. I want it to be double spaced for easier reading. And I will update that text flow and close out of this. And then I will click text flow and I will click on the next box that I want it to go to. The orange triangle is there because all of the document does not fit yet. So I will click text flow. I will click on the next page, which is 10. I actually need to go back and apply the correct layout here. And then I have to go back because the next thing you touch after text flow has to be the correct box. Text flow, click text flow, click here. We need more boxes. So oftentimes I will just go through here and apply the layout to several pages so that I can continue the text flow process. Text flow here, here. We've got more. Let's go to the next one. I got to go back and click text flow again because I touched something else. Click there, text flow here. All right, we've got more. Going to add more boxes. Text flow here, text flow here. Goodness gracious. Let's keep going. Okay, text flow here and here. More layouts. And this is the process. I just keep adding more until the story is finished. All right, more pages, clicking on the side. All right, there it is. There's the end. So I can click off of that. We've made it to the end. This took us from pages 5 all the way down to page 22. Over here, I'm noticing I'm hitting the bottom of my free 24 pages. I'm going to go ahead and go to Manage Pages. I'm going to add pages at the end of the book, and I'm going to add 100 pages because I know my book's going to be between 100 and 150 pages. And then I'm going to close out of that. Now I can keep working. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. I hope it has been a blessing to you. Will you put a heart in the comments below if you made it this far? Because that just means the world to me. And be on the lookout for part 3 of this series, which I will post here as soon as I have it completed. This is going to be more interior pages, but we're going to be focusing more on troubleshooting documents and pictures and how to get those set up exactly the way you want them, what to do when you run across issues.